The amount of time your case takes to prepare will be longer if your documents are very complex. In the context of an E-2 visa case, that means either the source of funds is very complicated, or the way in which you spent your investment is not well documented and takes a long time to pull together. If your source of funds includes funds from multiple locations or funds that are hard to trace or hard to document, it's going to take longer to prepare your case because that is going to take longer for your attorney to put together as a credible source of funds that will be believable by the US government. I take up to 6 weeks to prepare your application and present it to you for your review and approval to file it with the government. And now we're at step 3. How long does it take for the government to decide your case? This is the most frustrating part of the process for everyone because we don't know. Now, that's not completely true. I do know because I have a lot of experience with these cases, so I can tell you what it's typically like, but it's important to know for you, we will never know how long it takes until it took that long. We will not know how long it will take for the government to give you an interview until they've given you that interview. That's because the government has absolutely no limitations or restrictions on how long they can take to decide your case. They're not required to decide your case within a particular period of time. And they don't publish the wait times for these kinds of cases. For other kinds of visas, student visas, visitor visas, really any other kind of visa, you can go onto the Department of State's website and you can see the estimated processing time for your case in the place where you're going to file at any given time of the year, which is amazing. That doesn't happen for e-visas. They do not publish processing times. What that means is we have to take clues from what's happening currently in the location where you're going to file. When you file your E-2 visa case, it will be filed in the consulate or embassy in your home country. Each location has a different processing time. Even within the same country, there are different processing times. Most of my E-2 cases are filed in Mexico. In Mexico, we can file in la Ciudad de México or in Ciudad Juárez. Those are 2 different locations that accept E-2 processing, and they have their own system and their own wait times. For example, right now we're seeing that in Mexico City, E-2 visa cases are taking about 2 to 4 months. In Ciudad Juárez, that same case is being processed in 3 to 6 weeks. Those are really different wait times. And so that's a really important part of your understanding of how long your case will take. And an important part of your legal strategy is talking to your attorney about where you should file and why. Okay, so typically the government wait time for E-2 visas is about 3 months. That's just the best guess based on every location in the world, every case that's filed. That's kind of the most typical wait time is about 3 months. That doesn't mean that that will be your experience. It really can be as fast as 2 weeks, as slow as 1.5 years. And so this is part of the plan that I need you to know really well to set yourself up for success. If you're going to start your E-2 process today, you need to know that you could be waiting 1 year, 1.5 years to get your visa. You probably won't, especially if you're filing in a location that has been traditionally moving more quickly. But we have a change in president happening today, actually. I'm recording this on January 20th, 2024. Today, President Trump takes office. That means changes in the immigration system. That probably will result in changes in the processing time for some E-2 visas in some locations, and we'll just watch and see which those are. But also at any given time, the processing times can change. So I want you to have a plan. Everybody has a plan for when things go well and quickly, but I want you to have a plan for what you're going to do if your case moves more slowly than you expect it to. That plan could involve hiring employees inside the US who can support your business while you're waiting outside for the visa. It could mean getting your infrastructure set up so that you can run your business remotely from outside the country while you wait for the visa. Or it could mean making a decision to not yet start the business, but get it ready to begin and at that place where you're just waiting on the visa to start. This is something you can talk to your attorney about and really understand the best legal strategy for you. But you need to have it. It needs to exist. Your plan B has to be there so that you can decide what are you going to do if your visa takes longer than you expect. Okay, I hope this was super helpful. This is truly one of the most frequent conversations I have with my clients as I meet them either when they're just starting to think about an E-2 visa or when their US business is up and running and they're ready to hit the ground and get their visa now. Those are both very, very valid positions to be in when you're starting to think about an E-2 visa, but they're really, really different in terms of timing. So I want you to really be honest with yourself and think about where you are right now. What's the status of your US business? How complex are your documents? And where are you going to file your case? So today, we've talked about processing times for E-2 visas. The most critical items that impact how long an E-2 process will take are 1, the current status of the business, 2, the complexity of the documents, and 3, where you will be filing your case. I want you to keep each of these in mind as you think about your case and where you are today and where you want to go.